Today at Intruder Trailers, we're going to have a look at electric brakes. I'll show you what's worn, what needs to be replaced, and maintenance to make your brakes last longer. Let's have a look. This is your typical 12x2 electric brake backing plate. I'm going to show you a few things and show you what's worn about it and why this one needs to be replaced. If we look at this magnet, we'll notice that there's little dots here and here. These are wear dots. When they're worn out, you know that the magnet's completely worn out. This magnet actually has 4 wear dots, but they're gone. There's one here and here, but this magnet is worn out. It needs to be replaced. When you go to brake shoes, they start out with a little over a 1/4 inch thickness of material. You'll notice by looking at this that there's probably less than a 1/16 of an inch. This shoe needs to be replaced. Now, when shoes need to be replaced and a magnet does, you're really better off to do a complete backing plate, and that's what we do. You basically get a new complete backing plate that gives you magnet, shoes, brake adjuster, new springs. It's definitely the way to go. Now we're going to have a look at the brake drum. A lot of times you end up replacing a brake drum when you replace a backing plate because the magnet and the shoes have chewed the backing plate up. We're going to have a look real close at this brake drum. If we notice the pen, I don't know if you can notice, there's fairly deep ridges all along here. And what happens is the magnet does not have a nice smooth surface to run on. And when you get into the shoes, it's very, very, very rough here too as well. Some people try to turn these as far as the shoe area. That can be done, but there's not many places that can turn the armature surface where the magnet runs. Usually it ends up being cheaper in the long run to replace the complete backing plate and the complete drum as well together as a whole unit. Okay, now we're going to look at a new backing plate. I think we'll go right to the magnet which we were discussing. You'll notice this one has the 4 little wear dots here, so you can see how your magnet's wearing. You'll notice that we've got a shoe that's got over a 1/4 inch of thickness here. Now when we install these, we take red grease and we grease certain items to keep them lubricated. What we'll do is we'll red grease the threads of the adjuster here. This is to set your brakes up. We'll grease the post here so this magnet floats up and down nicely. It needs to float because it needs to ride, always be up against the edge of the inside of the drum, which has to be very smooth like we were mentioning for the brake to get full contact. We also grease the swing arm post here, the block here, and up in here. Now I'll show you how this works here. Basically your drum is spinning this direction, and what happens is when your brake controller puts power to the magnet, it comes out, grabs the inside of the drum, and it spreads it apart like this. You'll notice the little block up here. When I do this, you see how it turns and it spreads the shoes out, comes back. That's how electric brakes work. But that is the best way to do it. Do a complete backing plate when you need brakes. Okay, and this is a new brake drum we're having a look at. We're just going to look how smooth it is. You can notice it's just very smooth everywhere here, and that needs to be smooth, especially where the magnet runs or the magnet won't make full contact. If your drum is decent and you're going to reuse it with a new backing plate, I'd recommend, as a rule, usually you put a new grease seal in too as well, because if you get a grease seal that's bad and the grease gets on the shoes, you'll have a very grabby brake. A lot of people tend to think that grease will make the brake slip, but it makes it very grabby and quite annoying. So if you're going to use your old brake drum, you might as well put a new seal in while you're at it.